Hi there. This is Anne Marie with Mindful Frontiers, and I'm really glad you're here today. I'm going to lead you through a mindful movement, yoga inspired MBSR stretching routine. So let's start in our favorite sitting position just to settle in. So settling in, if closing your eyes is part of your practice, join me. We'll use this beginning part of our class to bring our awareness into our body and bring our whole consciousness here in this moment. Letting go of what was. Just coming to this present moment. So we'll do about a 5-minute meditation to get us in the mood, and then move on to some stretching. So I invite you to bring your attention to your breath as it comes in and goes out of your body. Wherever is the anchor that you're comfortable with, using that as your attention focus. Giving the mind something to do, something to pay attention to. Just noticing the breath going in and going out. So transitioning into what is called a box breathing technique. We're going to breathe in for a count of 4, holding for a count of 4, breathing out for a count of 4, and holding for a count of 4. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. On your own, let's do a few more of those. Really paying attention to the pause, the hold. Good job. So the box breathing and any kind of breathing where we actually manipulate it, especially if it's counted and there's a moment of holding, it's really good to encourage the parasympathetic nervous system to kick in, which is the relaxation part of our nervous system. And it's a really great way to also give the mind something to focus on. So it's kind of tricking the mind, if you will. Let's transition into our movement posture. So now we're going to start standing up. So we're going to stand in what is often called mountain pose, right? In yoga, we call this mountain pose. So your feet are about hip width apart. Your arms are relaxed to your side. And since we're doing mindful movement, close your eyes if your balance is good and just notice areas of your body that are engaged in this simple relaxation pose. Feet are grounding the body. Just have to check there's some wind outside. Making sure that the sun umbrella doesn't get swept away. Go back to our pose. It's a gentle relaxation, but also balancing pose. Just noticing the muscles that are actually engaged in this pose. The feet, legs, stacking the hips over the shoulders. The hands and the arms are just at your side. There's no engagement necessarily really directly involved in the arms and the hands. Similarly, our face is not engaged. There's no tension required in the face. On an in-breath, let's raise our hands over our head, slowly noticing the change in this posture. Your hands can be spread apart or they can be clasped together like that over your head, whichever is the most comfortable for you. A gentle stretching upward while keeping the shoulders soft. Noticing the muscles engaged in this posture. Now the arms and the hands are active. They're part of the posture. And maybe actually the back and the hips can sort of just let go, allowing the legs and the hands to do the effort. And on your next exhale, bring our arms down to the side with our hands flexed to feel slight stretch happening in the forearms and the wrists. Trying to not tense up. Then you can bring your hands out and just maybe visualize the fingers on either side, either arm, stretching out in opposite directions. And again, mindfully noticing just those muscles that are engaged in this movement. Let's bring one arm down, the other one over the head, and your palm is facing towards your head. Slight arch to create a stretch right in here. Once again, noticing only which muscles are needed for this pose. You may be hearing my cat talking to us as we're stretching. Gracie likes to be where the action is. Right, bringing that arm back to neutral, lowering the upper arm and raising the opposite arm, and a slight bend over to that side. Noticing again only the muscles that are really engaged in this stretch, letting the others go out of our awareness, letting them simply do what they do. Right, coming back down, just standing here, allowing the blood to flow back into the arms. Stretching the fingers slightly, moving them around to stimulate some awareness there. And bringing the arms up again on an inhale. This time, doing our stretch to either side with the hands above our head. Noticing again only those muscles that need to be activated, and then even with our breath, allowing those muscles to relax, to let go a little. Coming back to center and to the other side. It's different on this side from the other side. We are not completely balanced in our body. Usually one side either feels more comfortable or maybe stretches more easily. Coming back and bringing our arms down. I'm going to do a series of shoulder and neck movements. So our shoulders carry a lot of tension. So let's raise our shoulders up to our ears and then rolling them back and doing a continuous rolling movement in one direction, maybe 2 or 3, as slowly as we can, just noticing the muscles in the shoulders, visualizing them stretching and relaxing. And then the other direction. Standing in our mountain pose, noticing any change in the body with some of this movement we've done. Now for our neck rolls, we can start with just ever so slowly bringing our head down to our chest, chin to chest, slowly rotating over to one side, ever so slowly. Very gently moving the head to the back, mindful of every little muscle that is being engaged in this movement. go of the shoulders, bringing them down. And let's try the other direction. Chin to chest, very slowly. Mindful of every little change as these muscles engage. Very slowly as you go to the back. A nice stretch for the side neck is just breathe in and just up your head to the side, almost like your ear is going to your shoulder. Back to center and to the other side. Noticing just those muscles that are needed for this movement. Nice. So it's just coming back to our mountain pose, closing our eyes. If our balance is stable, just noticing, doing the body scan through our body. Just noticing some of the pulsing going on, having come from activity. If you're hearing the door slamming in my house, I apologize if that's distracting. My family is getting going for the day. And in mindfulness, we learn to be in the present no matter what is going on around us. So when that door slams, I hear it. Come back to the breath. Knowing that this is the only place to be is right here. Let's move to the ground now. So we're going to lie on our backs. Move the camera so you can see better. And there's Gracie joining us. There we go. You should be able to see me better that way. Yes, Gracie. Gracie's doing her own mindful meditation today. There we go. So lying down in our on the back posture, this is called our resting pose when we're on our backs. So again, mindfully noticing the areas of your body that are touching the ground, the floor, your mat. Starting with the ankles and the feet that are turned out, relaxed. Calves. The upper leg. Hamstring. Hips and lower back. There's a little arch of the in your back there, and that's normal. The upper back is in contact with the floor. Your hands and your arms and your elbows. Our shoulders, the back of the head. Neck is nice, has a little curve there. And take a couple breaths in this resting pose. Breathing in slowly and breathing out, releasing.
So raise our arms over our head, engage the legs, either pointed or flexed, either way. We're stretching in both directions. So our arms, our hands are reaching towards the wall over our head. And our legs are stretching and reaching the wall in the opposite direction. And just notice what happens in your body. Notice what are the points of engagement, the muscles of engagement. There's the arms, the hands, shoulders are slightly moving towards the ears, the legs and the hips are stretching. So we're stretching on both directions. And so our torso is getting a double pull in either direction. Breathe and notice what that feels like. This is an active stretch, so there's probably warmth being generated, and you can notice where that is. I feel it in my hands. Slowly bring your arms back alongside your body, back into resting pose. Let's bring our knees up, feet on the floor, about hip width apart. And bring your arms out to the side or in cactus pose. I don't have room on this side, so I'll have one out and one in cactus. And just very gently move the knees, what we call windshield wiper format. Just getting that lower back and legs, waking them up gently, not going down too far. Great. Noticing that feeling in the hips. I'm putting my hands on my belly, and you can put your hands to the side, whichever is comfortable. But now let's grab our knees. So we're going to hug our knees to our chest. Just start with that movement first. Noticing again the muscles that are engaged. Stretching the lower back. The shins. We either grab below the knee or maybe under the knee, but avoiding grabbing at the knee. Slowly we bring our head up to meet our knees wherever we can, maybe just a little bit off of the ground, modify based on your body. And just noticing that feeling of being rolled up in a ball. When you're ready, and if it's comfortable, maybe doing a little rolling around with the knees bent around the hip area in one direction and in the other direction, getting some more relaxation happening, stretching in the lower back. So we'll bring our head down and just notice the body now. And when you're ready, just extend one of your legs down and flex the foot, engage that leg, keeping the other knee bent. Then again, however is comfortable, at whatever degree is comfortable, bring the head up to meet the knee. Noticing what's engaged and noticing as well what can be relaxed. Can we relax the neck? even though that's engaged. And if the neck is not comfortable off the ground, certainly modify them so this is comfortable for you. One last little tug on the leg there, and let's release and bring up the other foot. Bent knees, ready for the other side. Switching sides, extending that opposite leg, flexing the foot, reaching the wall with the ankle, the heel rather, and grabbing our other knee and bending it, holding it at the shin possibly is the best, or underneath, whichever is more comfortable for you. And when you're ready, raise the head wherever it is comfortable, reaching, visualizing that we're reaching our forehead to the knee. Even if it doesn't get there, we can engage the muscles by simply visualizing that movement. Mindfully noticing the body muscles that are engaged in this movement, and just noticing without straining any of the muscles. And if the neck gets tired, lowering down. One final tug and back to resting pose. Taking some slow, deep breaths, letting go. Noticing any change in the body since we started this stretch on the ground. And raising up your feet and your knees and rolling over gently, pushing yourself up. We'll come into tabletop. So in tabletop, our hands are below the shoulders. Our knees are bent and our legs are at 90-degree angle, not too far back, not reached over. Try to be just a straight line here from the knee to the hip. And in yoga, this is called the cat and the cow position. So breathing in, we very slowly arch our pelvis and reaching the heart forward with the head and the neck arched up, and just holding that, keeping our breathing going. If we do this faster, we can actually time it to the breath. Normally this is on the in breath because the belly inflates and reaches to the ground. Breathing out, we do the opposite arch. With the belly reaching the back as you exhale and contract the stomach muscles. At your own pace, following a slow breathing rhythm, breathing in, arching up in one direction, up, allowing the belly to inflate, and then exhaling slowly, curling in the opposite direction, bringing the belly up to the lower back. And one more time at your own pace of breathing. Slow breath in, slow breath out. Holding your breath there before breathing in and coming to a neutral tabletop. And then just noticing any change, any warmth, letting go of any tightness. Moving on to a balancing pose. We're going to start in tabletop. Make sure you have room in front and in back of you. Move your mat if you need. We're going to work up to alternating one arm and one leg. But we're going to start isolating that movement with just the arms first, and then just the legs, and then we'll put them together. So grounding yourself in your hands and your knees. Noticing the hips, trying to get them as balanced as you can. Start out by reaching one arm in front of you and notice what happens. What does the body do to compensate for only balancing on 3 limbs? And then bring that arm down, anchoring it and raising the other arm. And is it different on this side? Is there less movement to compensate on one side than the other? Let's do that again. So I'm then grounding in my left arm, raising my right arm, noticing what happens in the hips. Where does that compensation come from? I'm noticing that my right knee is more grounded, but it's pushing into the ground more than the left. Bring that one down. And let's do the other side on an inhale. What happens here? Notice, is this side more balanced? If you're right-handed or your right side is more dominant, as mine is, I'm noticing that I feel more balanced on this side. And bring that arm down. Now we're going to reach our legs behind us one at a time. Starting with reaching the left leg back. Do you notice the shift over to the right for the balance there? Checking in with your neck, making sure there's no unnecessary tensing, and trying to only engage the muscles that are absolutely needed. Bring that leg down. Recenter and extend the other leg, noticing what happens there. And you don't have to lift your leg way up high, just off the ground engages that balancing movement. And bringing it down. Recentering yourself here and noticing the balance now as we go with the opposites. So I have my right arm out in front of me and my left leg stretched behind me. Just being ever so aware and mindful of what's going on in the body. What is the mind thinking? Is the mind engaged? Can we do this without the mind engaged? Just awareness on the body. Bringing those down. Recentering our attention, our 4 limbs. And changing to the opposite side.
alternating, in my case, my left arm and my right leg. Is that different? Do we notice something different? Can we relax our neck, looking straight down, and only using the muscles that we absolutely need for this balancing posture? And releasing back down, anchoring ourselves. And it's turned back over on our backs. We're going to go ahead and start on our backs with our knees bent and feet next to the hips. Our hands are palm down or palm up. It doesn't matter. We're going to be moving very slowly into bridge pose, which involves putting our arms above our head and raising our hips. We'll do that very slowly, being mindful of the movement, noticing how the body moves and what muscles are being activated. Let's start on an in-breath, arms above our head behind us, settling the shoulders down. And then when you're ready, planting your feet into the ground and pushing up from the feet, not from the back, as far as you wish. It can be just a tiny bit off the ground. It can be all the way up, whatever feels right for you. Just breathe in and out in this position, gazing at the ceiling and just noticing what is going on. Shoulders comfortable? Is the neck relaxed? Just using the muscles that we need and not pushing up from the back, but using the feet to balance and anchor. And then very, very slowly, one vertebra at a time, lowering your back down, stopping to notice, and moving the arms overhead, back down alongside, reaching your legs out, and let's rest a couple breaths in resting pose. Noticing where in your body have the muscles been activated for this bridge pose stretch. And since we did a lower back stretch there, let's bring our feet back up and let's stretch out that part of our body. So similar to what we did earlier with the windshield wiper movement, this time we're going to stack both knees on top of each other, hips as well, and ever so gently look over the opposite shoulder. So in this case, what I'm showing you now is that I am twisted to the right with my knees and my head is just twisting tiny bit over to the left. You don't have to go completely. And if your legs don't reach and your knees don't reach the ground and they stay right here, you're still getting the benefit of the twist. Slowly bring your knees back up. Center and reground, and we'll go in the other direction. So pull the knees over to the left, stacking the ankles and the knees, and looking a little bit over to the right. And you can certainly move that arm up midway or even in cactus position, using that as well as a way to
compensate for the twist. It should feel good. It shouldn't feel painful. And if it does, then just untwist and stay in resting pose, releasing the muscles. We're going to move now into some leg stretches. So once again, bring your feet up underneath your hips there. Put the knees up, straight up. Hands are to the side. We're going to start grabbing one of your knees, in this case, the right knee, and slowly coaxing the leg. And if you can hold on to your shins, great. Otherwise, if you want to hold at your hamstrings, whichever works for you. The idea is not for this to hurt, but to simply feel the muscles that are engaged in a stretch. And the stretch will be all the way down through the hip and the pelvis. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe gently gazing at the toes that are extended. You can point your foot or you can flex it. When we flex our foot in this position, we then get an additional stretch in the calf area. When you're ready, let go. And we'll do the other side. Hug your knee on the left. And gently, gently stretch your leg ever so much that you can comfortably. You can let your leg way into your hands, crisscross behind the leg, or up at the calf area. And then play around here with flexing to engage the calves more, or pointing, it doesn't matter. And we could do that a couple times and even rotate the ankle. When you're ready, letting that go and turning over to your side. Just going to do some leg raises on this side. So you bending one elbow under your head as a support. You could also get a pillow and just put your head on a pillow. Your other arm is here for balance. You want to first notice that your hips are aligned. They're not too far back, too far forward. That would make the balance difficult. So stacking those hips and the feet and the ankles. And let's just notice that first. Mindfully being aware of our body position. And then with your leg, with your foot flexed, just do some easy raises and lowering. Breathing in, breathing out. As many as you wish. We'll try to get up to 10. Say that's 5 and 6 and 7. As you go your own height. You don't have to go. You could just go slightly wherever you want to be. Let's do 3 more. And this arm in the front is helping to keep from leaning too far forward or back. Let's do 1 more. All right, just enjoy that. Let the legs settle, maybe even just bring your head down, just notice the body. Mindful awareness of the body. Bending the knees, let's switch over to the other side. Again, resting your head on your hand elbow bent, other hand supporting and around the belly area. Legs and hips are stacked. Check that they aren't going too far back or forward, trying to balance them right there on your hip bone. Flexing your foot and leg raises, not too fast. You can use the rhythm of the breath or just count. Mindful awareness of our body, balance. Do 3 more. Just stack everything up. Notice. Notice the muscles that were activated. Notice the ones that are relaxed and unengaged. Beautiful. Let's roll over on our stomachs. So this is a leg and back stretching. So on our stomach, you can turn your head to one side or you can just rest on your shoulder. I'm going to go on this way so you can hear me better. Your hands are to the side, palms are up. Yep, that's much better. Palms are up, feet are flat on the ground, and let's just bring our awareness to the breath in this position. Noticing our back relaxing, legs relaxing. And now we'll begin to engage. We'll start with the legs. So let's raise our right leg. And it's not just jamming it up, it's slow movement. At the same time, reaching the foot towards the wall behind you, kind of behind you, where the leg is pointing. So it's an extending and a raising. Bringing it down slowly, noticing your hips and your leg, the difference between the 2 legs, one having been stretched and the other not yet. And then doing the same thing to the other side. Reaching the left foot and the whole leg from the hip towards the wall in that direction, ever so slightly up or further up if you are able, but don't force that. So we don't want to tax the lower back. Bringing that down and now noticing again, those 2 legs have now been stretched. What does that feel like? And now we're going to, let me see. We're going to keep our palms up and we're going to use the backs of the hands and the upper arms to push our chest up. Don't try to go too high. And don't try to cock your neck too far backwards. So this is a core and arm engaging stretch. And the head is stretching towards the wall before the arm pushes it up. And if this is difficult, then just go up a tiny bit. And of course, if there's any actual twinge or pain, please just modify or rest on your stomach. We're going to try this now by putting our arms over our head. So this is like a flipped over resting pose with our arms over the head. We're going to do this the opposite arm and leg as we extend in either direction. So I'm going to put my head on the forehead because it's a little more balanced that way. And hopefully you can still hear me. So starting with the right arm, reach that right arm in front of you. I need to move just a little bit this way. Reaching the arm and the opposite leg, not too high. See if you can notice them going in opposite directions, stretching away from center of the body. And come back down. Take a few breaths there. And the other side. So reaching the left arm to the wall and above the head, and then the right leg behind you. And notice that opposite stretch going on. And if you can't get the leg off or the arm off the ground too much, then just visualize that movement. Or just if you're doing it consciously, you can simply do it on the ground as well. Otherwise, just lift up a little on both ends. And when you're ready, bring it back down. Let's flip back over our back and finish up with a resting pose for a few breaths. Starting from your feet, we'll do a body scan to notice and to relax our body. Starting with the feet are splayed out, just relaxed. No effort, but in a comfortable position. And this is a very nice rejuvenating position. You may also consider on your own at some point trying this on the edge of the bed with your legs on the mattress or on a chair. This is particularly relaxing in this position. So try that. I encourage you to try that sometime. And you could even do a lying down meditation in that position. So back to our body scan, noticing our feet, our toes, letting them go as we breathe deeply. Noticing the ankles, relaxing them. Noticing the lower leg between the knees and the ankle, relaxing top, shins and calves. Noticing the knees, relaxing, letting go. Upper leg, quadriceps and the hamstrings, and the glutes, which are right there in your sitting area. Letting that go. I carry a lot of tension for some reason in my hips and lower back. So wherever you feel that you carry your tension, it's a good idea to give yourself some time every day to lie down in resting pose and really breathe into those tight areas, just visualizing those muscles relaxing. Moving up into the torso area, the front, back of the torso, and just noticing what's there. Breathing and allowing relaxation to come into our awareness. Noticing the chest and the front and the upper back, chest, ribs, that whole area where the heart and the lungs are protected, and important part of our bodies, of our body systems. Moving up to the shoulders, clavicle, lower neck area. Just noticing what's there, encouraging relaxation. Taking a little side path to the arms. Awareness to the upper arms. Noticing where the elbow touches the ground. Lower arms. The wrists. Noticing our palm, the top and bottom of the palm. Noticing all 5 of our fingers. Maybe giving them just a little movement to really acknowledge their presence. And allowing them to relax back down. Reconnecting with our spine, noticing our neck. Noticing the skull, back of the skull as it meets the neck. Noticing our whole head. Letting that go. All those areas of the skull and head carry tension. Our temples, forehead, between the eyebrows, the eyes, letting them rest in the socket, eyes closed, nothing to look at, just relaxing. And as we bring our awareness back to our breath, feeling the heaviness of our body, relaxing, letting go. In contact with the ground, floor, the earth. And if you have the time, please lie here as long as you need, as long as you'd like. This is a mindful posture that has great benefits for awareness, relaxation, and just being in the present moment, connected to our surroundings. If you're continuing, please do so. And if you'd like to finish up with me, just a gentle finishing meditation, reconnecting with our sitting posture, feeling grounded in our hips. Arms are relaxed, legs are relaxed.
your practice includes hands at the chest, palms together, join me in recognizing both sides of our body, balanced, joined at the heart, back, and with hands mirroring an alert, grateful posture, grateful position. Maybe cock our chin down just a little bit towards our palms. Feeling gratitude for this practice, for showing up, for taking care of yourself, of your body. I thank you very much for your practice today. And you take this mindful awareness into your day. Share with all those around you benefits of mindful meditation.